We're live. This is the Rich Lieberman Wednesday Bay Area Media Pulse. We're live here on YouTube. Those of you watching live, welcome to the show. Those of you watching at another time, we also welcome you to the proceedings. I got a lot of news taking place. I've been investigating a lot of it. I've been looking and talking and texting and doing the proverbial backup, front up, in between up, and then some. And let's just cut to the chase on one end. At KCBS, the all news station, well, some of the time, at 7:40 a.m., 106.9 FM. Here are the headlines. Brett Burkhart, a former KGO guy. They hired him about 5 years ago, and he is now resigning. I'm going to give you the background on this. He's, anyway, on his way to another radio station is the word, and I think I know where, but let me tell you about that in a second. Remember Rebecca Goodion? You should. I absolutely do, because Rebecca Goodion, at the very, very, very outset of her gig as a traffic anchor, I said right here, this young lady is extraordinary. And I meant that. I thought she had the voice. She had the chops. She sounded terrific. She gave very lucid, crisp anchor traffic updates. Really thought she sounded like somebody who'd been doing it for a long time. Turns out she just started out. And somebody at KCBS finally got it right, listened to me, because guess what? Now comes news that Rebecca Goodion has been offered and has taken a position as a full-time news anchor. She's going to quit doing traffic, or at least for now, has been offered to do news. And this is a good hire. I hope both prosper. Really, I do, because I saw it early on. And I said that Rebecca Goodion is seasoned, is intelligent, has a very great, terrific grasp of the situation. It would make an excellent, excellent, excellent news anchor or traffic anchor. And sure enough, now comes word through my sources that at KCBS, somebody had the gumption, the wherewithal to offer her a full-time news anchor gig. I don't know where she's going. I hope it's the overnight, but maybe it's somewhere else. I have no idea. Maybe midday during the week. Whatever the case, Goodion is now a firm fixture at KCBS. Now back to Burkhart. Those of you that don't know this, and it wasn't that much publicized, I knew about it, largely stayed away from it, but now I can tell you with certainty that there's a lot to this story. About 2.5 months ago, Burkhart was anchoring and was giving news about ICE officers doing their duty, their investigating on the ground in San Francisco and on the peninsula. And it was Burkhart that was giving out information and descriptions and so forth. Many people thought that he was doing it to help out potential apprehensions, and that in some cases was working on behalf of the ICE agents themselves. Well, turns out he was suspended. They never, ever cleared up the situation. But at KCBS, they yanked him off of his anchorship duties and put him to reporting. Basically, they demoted him. That's never, ever been explained fully. And I've heard various reports, and none of it confirmed, of course. But let's just say this. Did it have an impact on him leaving? You bet it did. Because ultimately, let me just say this openly. You guys who have watched me here, I am not a fan of Brett Burkhart. I've made fun of the fact of his ability to say wow on the air, that he was in my opinion, a total cast off at KGO. The only reason why he was brought over to KCBS years back was he was buddy buddy with Jack Swanson, who used to run KCBS, and they brought him in because they needed a body. And even though he was viewed as a has-been and a retread at KGO, nevertheless, they brought him in. They thought he was some guy that had a fair amount of followers, which was overblown to begin with. But they brought him in at KCBS, and his contract was up in June, and he stayed on, but they were never, ever going to offer him the anchorship back. He knew it. He saw the handwriting on the wall, and he has resigned, which basically means he quit. But he has a gig. Now, he's from San Ramon, right? From San Ramon. So the fact that he quit means, and this is something I have thought, that he has something lined up. He's probably going to go some other radio station, maybe even in LA, although it's known, and I've heard a few people who I know tell me where he's going, but I haven't been able to confirm it yet. But fact of the matter is, he's gone from KCBS. Brett Burkhart basically, there's no radio in the Bay Area, so his next gig will be out of the market, probably. So, as I said, it could be LA, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be somewhere out of the Bay Area. Keep in mind, Burkhart is from San Ramon, and his wife's got kind of like a cushy job there. His kids are grown. So I think this is something to where he continues to want to anchor. Wow. And he's going to some market on the West Coast. That's all I know. And I haven't been able to pin down what I've heard. Of course, I'm not going to tell you that if it hasn't been pinned down, because I'm only adding to the speculation. But this deal with him and the ICE agents and all that, which led to him being removed from the anchor, whether it was doing it on purpose or not, had quite an impact on his tenure at KCBS, which I think was part and parcel to him deciding to leave, because he wasn't going to be coming back, namely because Steve Scott, the guy that talks like this for no apparent reason, he just likes to talk like as if he was on the radio, is now anchoring the afternoon news. Looks like Steve Scott is going to stay there, and Burkhart's not going back to the anchor duties at afternoon drive. So that now has become the story. And mainly in my book, it's a fabulous, fabulous move to put Goodion in as a full-time news anchor. Great news for her. Probably not such great news for Burkhart, but that's the way the radio business is, always has been. It'll be interesting to see. And once I get news of where he's going, I will, of course, come here and let you know. I'm Rich Lieberman, and I will be back later today. There's a whole lot of news with regards to Ron Owens and Laura Owens and Jan Black. I will be back later in the day. So you have a great, great Wednesday, and we will see you later. Remember, become a subscriber on my YouTube channel. Watch me, and you can pay attention to my various reports on Twitter, X, at Rich415 Media. And of course, if you have a tip or a lead or something you want to get to me, rich.lieberman@gmail.com for email. See you later.